So I enter the door, and as soon as I step foot inside, a strange but familiar voice starts echoing, getting closer and closer, and oh, it's my loving fiancé! My loving fiancé in distress. She just told me about her boss having the audacity to talk to her like she's inferior, like a piece of garbage. What would you do? Go. Do you say, just tell her that, otherwise you'll just continue to stress over it? Another one is, treat her the same way she treats you, and just do the minimum until you find another job. Or even, well, at least they pay you well, and you have a bunch of free time. Any one of these answers sounds like a solid, actionable plan, but she gets angry. You're not listening to me at all. What do you mean I'm not listening? I just gave you an answer to your problem. That just means that I was listening. I didn't tell you to go get the umbrella out of the car and start baking a cake with it. I focused on the problem you presented. And then she stops talking to me. The solution? Communication. Are you kidding me? We were just communicating. Well, yes, but we have to communicate not just for ourselves, but for the other person as well. Which means that sometimes they can understand it quite differently than how you intended it to sound. Or maybe you didn't even realize what they truly needed because you didn't ask. Bear with me for a second. They say men are worse listeners than women. You hear this all around it in all the arguments over the internet. And they usually say that men are focusing more on fixing the problems while women focus on empathizing. As of now though, there is no conclusive research proving that one gender is better than the other in listening, empathizing or fixing. So, sorry, you being a man or a woman has nothing to do with it. Whatever the topic is, if you think about it, when you got angry or frustrated because something bad happened to you, what did you truly need? Is it maybe for you to vent and for someone to be there and empathize with you? You call up a friend and tell him all about this awful thing that happened to you, and he's like, oh my god, what an asshole. I cannot believe he did that. Tell me that doesn't feel good. Someone just empathized with you. Someone just felt your pain and was on your side, and he didn't even need to offer you any advice or fixes. Wow. The fact of the matter is, other people's problems never seem quite that bad or unfixable. And that's because we are missing the emotional understanding, the ability to truly feel what it's like being in their shoes. And it's really easy to fall into the trap of offering advice when it's not needed. It does really take some time to understand how deep and serious the other person's problem is. That's why both of you need to do your part in communicating. Me and my fiancé have quite often gotten into these fights or misunderstandings because of failing to understand what the other person needed in the moment. So we've solved this in two ways. If she comes up to me with a problem or struggle and I immediately go into fixing mode, she will literally stop me, like, stop, followed by, I just need you to listen. And that's my cue. I know what to do. Listen and empathize. Sometimes it happened that I didn't even know what I needed. So I'd let her start offering me solutions, and if I would get uncomfortable at some point, that was my cue that it's listening what I needed and not fixing. So I just say something like, sorry, I appreciate the advice, but I just figured out that I just need you to listen right now. And that's her cue to switch gears. And sometimes we even ask before replying, do you need me to listen right now or offer advice? Works like a charm. It takes great skill and control to be able to not react to the frustrations of others and see it as just that, frustrations. It most likely has nothing to do with you, even if they blame you in the moment. But everything we do and everything we want to change in ourselves, it takes practice. You probably won't remember these reactions right away. You might even end up in the same conflict because you are trying to fix instead of listen. But you'll maybe remember after the fight and try to do better next time. So if you see your partner, man or woman, in distress or coming up to you with a problem, before offering advice, just ask them if they need it. Because sometimes they might just need to vent and for you to root for them. Comment, like and subscribe if you want to. And happy listening!